Alright folks, this may be controversial, but after episode 9 of The Bad Batch Season 3, I'm willing to say that this is one of the best Star Wars projects we've gotten in a long time. If you're not watching this show, you need to stop what you're doing and watch it. If you love the Clone Wars, you're gonna love this just as much because episode 9 just did something huge for Star Wars. It didn't do anything super new, but it kind of just brought back the nostalgic feeling of the older Star Wars movies, including the prequels, the other animated series, and things like that. We're gonna break down this whole episode, so stay tuned for that. I'm also gonna give my thoughts on everything that goes down and where this could possibly lead. But before that, let's see if we can get this video to 30 likes. We just hit 1,000 subs. I am so grateful for every single one of you. If you could leave a comment down below, I read every single one. I most likely will respond. Tell me what you think is going to happen next week on The Bad Batch because I am just so excited for these final couple episodes. But with that out of the way, let's break down episode 9 real quick. This episode is titled The Harbinger, and we start off on Pabu, but it looks a little different here. We're used to seeing this planet really sunny and very happy-go-lucky, but now we're seeing it kind of in an overcast state, letting us know that there's possibly some danger around and things could be lurking in the darkness, which, well, they are. Omega follows Batcher into this cave, and we've seen caves several times before in Star Wars. Most notably, in my opinion, we see it in the sequels with Rey, symbolizing the unknown and the darkness and possibly the pull to the dark side, because we know, especially after this episode, the Force may reside within Omega. They check out this cave and there's a ship inside there, and that ship belongs to none other than Assaj Ventress. We called it. We got everything right on our last video for last week. We said that Assaj Ventress was the person that Fennec was calling, and that was right. The way she pops up here is actually really creepy and kind of funny at the same time because they just cut away from it. The Bad Batch then rushes to Omega, who is with Ventress, and Ventress says Fennec is the one who sent her. Ventress wants to know why they are so interested in this information about M counts. Basically saying if you know what an M count is, you're putting a huge target on your back. Of course, Ventress knows exactly what an M count is because she herself is a Force wielder. A former Sith turned bounty hunter turned rogue anti-Jedi. I don't really know what to call her, but she's been through it all, and later on we're going to talk about her book, The Dark Disciple, which is a great read, and I don't know how they're going to be connecting it, but I think I know how the events of that book lead into the events of this show. Ventress actually explains here what the midichlorians are, and she actually says the word midichlorians, which is awesome, but she said just because you have a high M count doesn't mean you're a Jedi. You have to practice, you have to train, and in this episode, that's what we get. I never in a million years thought I would see Ventress training a clone that is Force sensitive. This is just awesome. We see a great training montage, and Ventress actually puts Omega on her first quest, similar to how Yoda makes Luke go out into the woods and deal with the apparition of Darth Vader, and similar to how Luke sends Rey out and so she sees the visions of the dark side.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
This is kind of the same thing that Ventress is doing here to Omega, giving her an impossible task, seeing if she can just at least try it. But of course, as Yoda says,
do or do not. There is no try.
Now, I have a feeling Ventress sets Omega on this quest so she leaves and she can deal with the Bad Batch because she gets a feeling that they are not friendly to her. And of course they're not because they think she has ulterior motives for Omega, so they get into a huge fight and Ventress takes all of them out with ease. It was a super cool fight scene and Ventress actually ignites a yellow lightsaber. Now, in the book, she did have a yellow lightsaber, but this hilt is different. This one is curved like her former master, Count Dooku's. And her lightsaber being yellow kind of hints at the fact that, well, she's not bad anymore, but she's not fully good. It's kind of in the middle, but then again, we see Jedi Temple guards have yellow lightsabers as well, and I guess it all just determines on your Force ability, your combat, and things like that. I'm not going to go too into the colors of the lightsabers because I can go on for hours. Nonetheless, her yellow lightsaber, very cool. After taking out the Bad Batch and them realizing that she's not an actual threat, she is a friend, they go on another quest. And Assaj is really being this Yoda master character here. I don't think a lot of people notice that enough. She's teaching Omega these lessons about just life and the Force in general, and it's so nice to just physically see. After showing Omega that she can use the Force, kind of similar to how in Empire Strikes Back, Yoda lifts up the X-Wing from the water, a giant sea creature appears and they have to fight it off. I absolutely loved the design of this creature, and when Ventress goes out to stop it, it is so cool because she connects with the animals on a Force level, and it's just awesome. I say awesome a million times because it really was. It feels like an episode pulled right out of the Clone Wars series, but again, like I said for the previous episodes of The Bad Batch Season 3, there's a little bit more of a mature tone, allowing older audiences who know who Ventress is to connect as well as the new audience. And that's what Star Wars is about. Now, Ventress tells the Bad Batch that she's not Force sensitive, but really, she definitely is. At the end of this episode, Ventress leaves saying something along the lines of, "I still have a couple lives left," hinting at it possibly being a joke, and we're probably going to see Ventress again, but I want to dive deeper into this because I think this talks a little bit about what goes on in the book. A quick recap for the book, spoilers ahead. So in this book, Ventress falls falls in love with Jedi Quinlan Vos. We know that Vos is still alive due to the events that occur in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and in the book, Ventress and Quinlan Vos fall in love, and actually Ventress ends up dying at the hands of Count Dooku while trying to save Quinlan. Dooku uses his Force lightning on her and she dies. But clearly she doesn't, because her body gets taken back to Dathomir, her home planet of the Night Sisters, and she's placed in the waters. We have yet to see and learn how Ventress was brought back from Dathomir's waters, but I hope we see it in the future, letting us know that the book is canon, but something else is missing, and I'm glad they didn't tell us in this episode so we can see her again. Ventress must have been revived on Dathomir or by somebody else and has been a bounty hunter ever since. Who knows if she knows that Quinlan Vos is still alive, and I hope maybe we get some resolution on that. Once again, I really think you should read the book Dark Disciple. It's a great read. It's one of the best Star Wars books I've read, along with Dooku Jedi Lost. They kind of go hand in hand. Overall, this was a great reintroduction to a beloved character from the Clone Wars series, one of the first Sith characters even before Dave Filoni's Clone Wars series. Ventress was actually introduced in the Tarkovsky animated Clone Wars that came out before the Dave Filoni Clone Wars, and she had such a sick introduction. She's actually the one who gave Anakin his signature scar on his face, and I have a feeling we have not seen the last of her. Let me know what you guys thought about this episode down below. I absolutely loved it and cannot wait for these last couple episodes. This season has just been such a delight, and I'm hoping they can keep it up. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment. I read every single one. I most likely will respond, and I will see you all very soon.